What up? What up? Top of the top. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? We back. We back. What's up? Peace, Eve James Podcast. What's up? Welcome to the channel. American Links was popping. What up, bro? L Blizz, what's up? Good morning, Miss Carla. Good morning. Sir Junior. I got a part. Y'all know how the weekend be. I'm trying to get back on track. Don't say I didn't wake up too motivated this morning. That's all. But y'all know how we do. We're going to talk about some real things that's going on in the world right now. You know I'm going to turn up eventually, though. What's up? Danielle Walker, what's up? Sassy, what's up? Good morning, y'all. I see the family is in here. Y'all know how we do about this time for No Fame Live, man. If you late, it's okay. Just make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the all notification bell. You know, make sure you stay in the loop. Watch for the red dot. We on a mission over here. Other than that, definitely happy to see y'all. That means everybody made it through the weekend. That means everybody ready for the week. And everybody's ready, period. Jay Goodbar, what's going on, bro? Lexi, I see you here early. What's up? Chu, what's up? I see the family vibing. So like I said, I made sure I started early today. I had things in order and I'm ready to go. Jug Rich, what's up? Shout out to all our people all over. But we're going to be talking about some of the things that's being exposed, and a lot of this is stuff we already knew. And what up, ASAP Auto? A lot of this stuff is what we got to talk about because they downplaying this information. You feel me? They downplaying it. And this is how they play these games of wiping people out and nobody knows what's going on. So we're going to talk about that. Good morning, Juicy Peach. Good morning, Black Barbie. What's up, y'all? Kenya Range from the West Coast. What's up? Yeah, Kenya, I started early today because I ain't have to make no moves this morning, so I'm ready. Other than that, y'all ain't going to hold y'all, man, because you already know how we do over here. Episode 273, you already know how it be. We about to get into it. Like I said, man, shout out to the replay gang. And shout out to everybody that's here catching the live right now. Like I said, hopefully everybody have a good day. Don't forget to stay focused out here. We about to get into it. Let's go. Now, let me talk about Brett Favre because I'm not going to assume a lot of people know who Brett Favre is. Brett Favre is a well-beloved quarterback in the NFL. Not to talk about race, but he is one of the most prominent white quarterbacks of our time. Brett Favre was known for his arm. He's really known for a lot, even though he only won one Super Bowl. And let's just say he's a very powerful figure in the NFL. He has a lot of clout, I'll say. He also got away with a lot of stuff too. But I've been paying attention to this whole thing, and y'all gotta understand, which a lot of y'all already know. You should already know that this is part of the game they playing in Mississippi. I'm also showing y'all these are the new race games they play. Remember when I told you they don't just hang people from trees and run around with hoods and robes no more? They don't move like that. They move different. How they move now? They on mental. They play money games. The greatest payback for the KKK is to have people living in poverty, aka ghettos. That's how they get their payback. That's how they work now. They lynch you in economics. Let's say it like that. They lynch you financially now. That's how they play the game. But you got to remember, these are the two biggest stories. But we know the real big story is the dirty water in Mississippi. But you got to understand that they've been distracting us with this Brett Favre story in Mississippi. But what I learned is Brett Favre's story relates with the Mississippi water scandal because it's all games being played in Jackson, Mississippi, where they already told you where over 80% of the population is melanated people. So all the places, this is where the dirty game is being played at. So let's take a look at what's going on. As you see your cousin Kevin Hart right here, co-signing Brett Favre. There's nothing wrong with that. The question we got to ask is why Kevin Hart is not speaking out about the dirty water that's in Mississippi. People don't understand. Our people in Mississippi have been without water, clean water, since August. Has been muddy. But actually, they said the water been dirty way before then. But it's been at the highest level of dirty since August. So that means what? People have not been able to take care of themselves and get certain things done without fresh water. The number one thing you got to remember what you need water for, y'all, is what? Making baby bottles. So that's the most important thing what water is needed. But even though a lot of us, we already was into, spring water for the bottles of milk, but everybody is not that fortunate to purchase that spring water to keep those baby bottles filled. But that's a whole nother topic. We're going to take a look at Brett Favre just to give y'all a background for those that don't know, because everybody's not into sports. So I want to give y'all a background on who he is. Sportsman of the Year. I wanted to show you that he's not just a peon. He's not a nobody. Brett Favre is well praised. And that's why you see him also praying. He's trying to play the humble role, the humble old man out the NFL role, but he plays a lot of games. Brett Favre is playing his broke role, but I checked Brett Favre net worth. Brett Favre is worth $100 million. He's been out the NFL for over 10 years, probably damn near 15 years, about 13 years. He's been out the NFL for a while. He's sitting on $100 million plus, allegedly. So the number one question is, why did this man scam welfare for money? They are saying that Brett Favre was stealing funds or finessing funds, but it looked like he was the face for others. A lot of people was in on this, allegedly, of finessing funds, finances from the government that was supposed to go to welfare. So they are blaming Brett Favre for stealing money from the poor. Mind you, he's $100 millionaire. But this is how they scam city budgets. Y'all know that. This is how they scam money. This is how people lace their pockets. And they say what? Forget them poor people. They don't need it anyway. All they're going to do is spend it, whatever. But let's take a look at this. They got text message of Brett Favre trying to get welfare money. And they said that allegedly he was warned not to do it. The nation's poorest state used welfare money to pay Brett Favre for speeches he never made. That's called finessing the bag. That's called finessing budgets. That's called tax write-offs. But in this situation, this scamming is affecting the people. So let's slow it down. Let's look at it for what it is. All right, boom. On one hand, they're saying that the water is messed up because of the water treatment facilities got messed up during floods. But on the other hand, millions of dollars are being swindled through people that's already rich. Once again, crystal clear, you see the game right there. Two, you see the other thing that we talk about, what? How the rich get richer. I broke this down before. The rich get richer by spending other people's money. Rich people are some of the most pettiest people, and they get a lot of free stuff, and they finesse other people's money and sit on their money. That's the whole game. See, so-called poor people spend a lot of money and give everybody, get their money away. Poor, rich people, they stingy and petty. That's how they stay richer, along with other things they play. But as you see right here, the state auditor says $70 million in federal welfare funds went to Brett Favre because he allegedly was building a volleyball complex, and a former pro wrestler in a scandal that has rocked Mississippi. Also, if I'm not mistaken, they say it's somebody else in the scandal. But let's slow it down. Like I said, $70 million. So let's look at this, y'all. How can you finesse $70 million? That's a lot of money to be finessing. So that means what? It's a lot of other people got their hands in that pot. And for two, here's already your proof that shows you that what? They could have been fixed that water problem. They just was taking that money that was supposed to go to city things and help people and do other things. Now you see what they've been doing with the money. They've been breaking bread, playing around. Because remember, I spoke about this. We spoke about this. If you know anything about any form of warfare from ancient times, the number one way to get at your ops is to play with their water supply. You can't get too much done if you don't got no water. And you definitely can't go to war without no clean water. And I told y'all this is a form of warfare. Because the people, some of the people that don't like you, they control your everyday lifestyle. And they hide under many, many different names. Most of them are nameless. The only way you're going to peep them out is what we spoke about is what? You got to watch them through their actions, through the things they do. That's how you know who's who. But in Jackson, Mississippi, a.k.a. Jacktown, shout out to my people in the South. After Mississippi spent millions of dollars in welfare money on Brett Favre's pet project, a university volleyball arena, the retired NFL quarterback tried 2 years later to get additional cash. So he tried to be greedy. He tried to get additional cash from the state's welfare agency for another sports facility. New court documents show. As you see, the government at the time, Republican Phil Bryant, texted in 2019 with Favre, who wanted to build an indoor practice facility for the University of Southern Mississippi football team. Bryant told him federal money for children and low-income adults is tightly controlled and improper use could result in jail time. So as you see, he was warned not to try this, but he kept going. You got to also remember something else, y'all. Boom. When you see that he got the 70 million or he got this money for the university volleyball arena, we know a lot of people in the hood don't play volleyball. So you got to understand that this is for other people's kids. And like I said, I'm not trying to play the race game, but they playing the race game in Mississippi, so I got to talk about it. The volleyball arena is for the white kids and for the privileged kids. So once you see it, take it from the poor, give it to the rich. Allegedly, take it from the blacks, giving it to the whites. Allegedly. But I'm showing you the real race games. And once again, your brother is the one that co-signed these people. It's your brother that know what's going on, that's quiet. And these are the shenanigans they pull, have Brett Favre sit down on the Kevin Hart show, so he won't appear to be racist. So he can say, I got a lot of black friends. But under the table, they do a lot of shiesty activity towards people, specifically black people. Mississippi's largest ever public corruption case has ensnared several people, including a pro wrestler whose drug rehab was funded with welfare money. The state has filed a lawsuit against Favre and others to recover more than $20 million in misspent welfare money intended to help needy people in one of the country's poorest states. One of the poorest states is Mississippi. I already broke it down how a lot of these places, they keep poor on purpose. They understand these are where a lot of your ancestors are from that never left, and that bloodline is still there. So they make it harder on these people, allegedly. Bryant and Favre are not facing criminal charges. Hold up. See, I didn't know all that, meaning I didn't even know it was going to lead to criminal. They're not facing no criminal charges. Boom. And Bryant is not among those named. Bryant is the so-called pro wrestler. So people with money, it's a fact that they've been taking money and they're not being held accountable. They're not even in trouble. And then we got to look at this. Look how many people get shamed for being on welfare. But this is also a sign of what I've been telling people, in my opinion, that this is their way of trying to show us that welfare is coming to an end on a certain level, I say. They're going to start putting certain restrictions on this welfare thing. And they're going to use stuff like this, saying that being that welfare has been getting scammed and the money has not been spent on the right things, they're going to try to use this. I understand how they work, because remember, let's got to keep it solid, y'all. We know this shit. We know it's a lot of people on welfare that don't mean they poor because they're on welfare. We know a lot of people that's on welfare and they take that money and do what they want to do with it. But that's what Brett Favre did. He did it at the highest level. But he's already rich and he's really making the welfare system hot. He's making it bad for all the people that are on welfare. And you understand, we got to be real. Y'all know some people that might be on welfare, they might use that little money to pay their bills, pay their little car note. You know what I'm saying? Get a couple other things done outside the household. My point is, this has been a standard of living forever. It's nothing new. But people like Brett Favre are being used to exploit the welfare program. So now they can put certain stipulations and start tracking every dollar distributed in the welfare program. But that's the icing on the cake. This game is just a distraction game they playing from the real business. This is the real business right here. These people still don't got no clean water. Which means what? They can't take proper baths, showers, cook without treating the water. And as you see, I want to show y'all something else. You see how our people's down there going through it. You see how they make sure they got strategic place, professional photographers to film the misery and suffering that people are going through, to exploit them. See that? You see that man tired because he probably been pitching out water all day. It was hot. You know, it get hot down there. And this is the games they playing. And this is how they keep our people living like it's 50 years ago. They do it on purpose. They keep these places poor. They don't build them up. They take all the money and keep our people messed up down there. No buses, no transportation. They move the jobs away. And mind you, these are places where a lot of our people were landowners, had a lot of power. And this is what they're dealing with right now. We're showing you the warfare. That as a people, our people have to, especially down there, they got to depend on these people to survive through the welfare program. They got to depend on these people to survive now when it comes to just basic water. So that's why we got to look at this. This is some of the things that a lot of us we take for granted. But I don't know how I would feel if I had to deal with this every day. And they've been dealing with this for months. We also know that this creates trauma. And not only trauma on the grown-ups, this is really going to affect the children, the kids. Now they got to wake up traumatized in a world where dirty water, one of the most naturalist element that's free that we all need to sustain life, other than oxygen, is water. And now that water is not even a guarantee if you in Mississippi. But like I told y'all before, see, I look at a lot of this stuff as test runs and just things they showing you. They showed us Mississippi, but in my opinion, this happened in a lot of places. We already know about Flint, but then you got to understand it's a lot of places that got messed up water. It just ain't brown like that. Because when it comes to parasites and pathogens, it's a lot of places that have dirty water. They're just not telling you. And this dirty water, allegedly, in some places, is what leads to different sicknesses, cancer, things of that nature. And y'all already know about the lead water and the lead pipes and the lead paint. We're going to get into that too, about the lead that has been put in places for years, specifically projects in certain areas. When they first built these places, they used lead paint on purpose. They used certain lead elements on purpose. They used piping that they knew eventually was going to rust one day. And it's a whole effect on the mental when you're dealing with lead. What's up, Alpha Me? I see you. What's up? Salute to the chat. Alan, what's up? Nevin, what's up? That whole thing with the lead. See, remember, everybody, I don't care where you're from. A lot of y'all know this. You see how the past couple of years, there's been this lead thing, this lead beef all over, where they acting like they didn't know lead was in these apartments and places and kids eat lead paint. No, they knew that. A lot of these places, they use that lead paint on purpose because the lead has an effect. We're going to get into that too. And it's been said that lead affects the mind of a child growing up, and they said that that child raised in lead will eventually become a criminal and eventually be wilding out. We're going to get into that, but I want y'all to see how your people going through it day to day. This is what they dealing with this right now. Why Brett Favre stole the money, and they saying that they can't fix the water treatment. It's months. They can't fix it. But this man got all the money. Look how they got your peoples down there. This is how they try to keep our people living as slaves and, you know, living on a low level on purpose. And that's why they love to put these images out here to show our people suffering and struggling for basic necessities called water. So let's ask the question, all these rich millionaires in America that consider themselves to be black or whatever, why they not saying nothing, for one? For two, why they not shipping it down there more? Why they not putting a spotlight on Mississippi? Because they know what's up. Also, they want us to focus on Brett Favre instead of actually focus on our people ain't got no water. And they killing them off little by little. And we don't know how many of them might be sick from drinking the water previously. As far as their body might be messed up, but they don't know it yet, because you know some things take time to develop. But my point is, this is the real agenda. It ain't Brett Favre. Brett Favre is a distraction. You know why? Because Brett Favre is already rich. And he stole that money, or he's the face of the one that stole it. But we know a lot of people broke up that 70 million. And he took the money from them. So you got to remember, you're going to have rich people and certain white racists, they're going to say, man, screw them. So what, he took the money from them? They ain't need it anyway. That's the game they're going to play. Mind you, ain't nothing getting done with the water. The water is the real agenda. The water's not being fixed, and nobody ain't saying nothing. That's how they play the game. Water problems in Jackson, Mississippi go deeper than pipes, experts say. See, it's deeper than pipes. As more info on lead in Jackson's water comes to light, parents are in the dark on their children's health. See that? Because they understand, or you got to have common sense to peep game. You got to know facts that this water was dirty before it even got to this level. This is the highest level of the dirty water, but best believe that water been dirty. As more info on lead in Jackson water comes to light, parents are in the dark of their children's health. Now, we're going to talk about the lead. We're going to talk about the lead. Hold up. Let's talk about the lead real quick. See the difference in pipes? Some people got these pipes in their house right now. A lot of people don't know. I spoke about this. When Trump was in, they changed the billing codes, not billing codes, but the coding, and basically certain things had to be brought up to standard. For one, you're supposed to have plastic pipes, not metal pipes. Metal pipes are really outlawed. They're really old school. They already know that this is what happens with metal pipes. Then you're going to understand why the whole all projects in America was built off these pipes. They knew a lot of this when they was putting it in. But now, all pipes are supposed to be plastic as standard. The same thing as well as carpet. That's why you've seen the past couple of years all of this remodeling of wood floor paneling, because they already understand, after doing massive years of studying, that carpet holds a lot of bacteria and germs. This is how a lot of people can get sick just being in the house with a dirty carpet. If you got a carpet that's been there forever and people in and out the house for years, period, that's how a lot of bacteria gets kept in a home, especially if you don't carpet clean. As well as what? Ventilation. All the ventilation had to be brought up to date. And most of these messed up living conditions are at a hood near anybody. We call them slumlords. We call them private property owners, meaning you got people that are still renting out places that are not keeping their real estate, or should I say their property up to par. This is also part of the PPP loan or scandal, where a lot of these landlords got money. And you know, within the rent program, a lot of landlords been putting people out lately, meaning, all right, boom, this is part of the game they played. A lot of landlords already knew they had to remodel their crib, but they had you living in them, knowing they was foul. So they let people stay rent-free through those government programs. And then now you see they putting everybody out, and they don't want that money. They don't want your Section 8. It's no more free rent programs. So now these same slumlords are kicking you out and going up on the rent and taking that government money, doing what? Refurbishing, remixing, and reestablishing. So basically the same cribs they already knew had messed up piping, already knew these cribs were not up to standard. They let us live in them for years, and now they want to put us out and remodel them now and go up on the rent. And that's part of the homeless epidemic. A lot of these renters were in on the program too. These slumlords were with the program. They had to bite the bullet. A lot of them had to take a loss. What loss they took? Not getting paid rent for like a year straight. Not getting paid rent for 8 months straight. So they didn't really bite the bullet, because the whole time people wasn't paying their rent, the government was still paying them. And a lot of the money they was giving them was for them to do future treatment to the buildings. Like, say if it was a building with all this bad piping. Now, after the pandemic, he has money to remodel and do the piping over, but first he got to put you out. So once he puts you out, now they want to fix the building up, because now they want to go up on the rent. But before, for years, they had you living with dirty pipes. And all that's by design. This game has been played all over America. And it's another way how the rich get rich and the poor get poor. And they also was giving us those rent programs because they want a lot of us to get comfortable. They wanted a lot of us to just chill while they jack the rent up, jack everything up. And then now you see a lot of people trying to get on track, but it's not as easy to get on track when you've been set back for so long. And they know that. So that's why they went up on the gas, they went up on the food, they went up on basic things, because they know a lot of people got to hustle and finesse their bills to make it through. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's the American way. But I wanted to show y'all, these are some of the pipes and conditions that we live under to this day. So if you've been living somewhere for a while and it's still metal pipes, and they didn't do no remodeling in your bathroom or in your kitchen, that's just a sign that you might got them old pipes, especially if they metal. But let's continue on. They say the Jackson, Mississippi residents filed class action lawsuits against the city. So the people are suing. But it's just funny to me that the same people that gave Brett Favre all that money, now they're being sued. But in my opinion, I don't think they're going to give nobody no money. So as you see, you also see the government or the military is down there as well. The military is helping. And I think who's to say that water ain't bogus they giving out? That could be all bogus water too. Some people don't understand the games they play. All of this water they giving out could still be bogus. You understand? Because a lot of that water is not big company, it's not real name brand water. Some of that water is knockoff. There's no telling where a lot of that water come from. And a lot of y'all should know I spoke about osmosis water. A lot of that water got calcium. A lot of that cheap water is treated with other things. So I'm not even going to make it like they're giving them good water, because that water look generic and they don't tell them what's in that water neither. Just because it's packaged and bottled don't mean nothing. Like I told you, a lot of these rich corporations that don't like you, They control a lot of supplies, and they can alter whatever they want to alter. But this is the reality of the water in Mississippi right now. And just so happened, Black community, melanated community, urban community. But before this happened, this is what I was talking about with the lead in the water. And this, not mind you, this is all over America, lead in the water, especially in the hood, especially projects, especially old buildings, old houses. A kid growing up drinking lead in water is less likely to graduate from high school or go to college, because 9 times out of 10, those are the kids get put on Ritalin. A lot of kids that has been classified as bad, slow, a lot of it is because they just was raised in drinking lead water and inhaling lead paint their whole life, their whole childhood. These are studies they did back in the day when they put these things together. They strategically used things that they knew in the future would have lead, in my opinion. The child consuming the poison water is more likely to be unemployed later. And a child consuming lead during their childhoods are more likely to commit crime. Do y'all see this? Every project in America has been known to have lead paint. We know the projects is where most of the stuff happens at in America, meaning everything trends in the projects when it comes to crime, then it goes into the real world, meaning y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all probably know people right now that's locked up that was bad from kids. You know people that's unemployed right now that was bad as little kids. But little did we know this would be the side effect from drinking lead water and inhaling lead water all these years. I know people years ago that got a lawsuit from lead water. All of them got paid. And a lot of them are in jail. They did studies because I told you they fighting wars a different way. So now you understand why our people die at a certain age. I got family, for those that know, I ain't gonna go into it, but I got family from Brownsville, Van Dyke Projects. 3 of my family members have died in that same apartment. They never moved. They was there from when I was a kid. They was there before I was born. And they never moved. They got big lawsuits, could have moved, all of that. 100,000 didn't move. But mysteriously, 3 of my family members, actually 4 of them are dead. 3 brothers and a mother, they dead. Now they died from different sicknesses, different cases, but just so happened they never left the projects. And they was nowhere near their time to die. That's why you see why most of our people in the projects in the hood, they in wheelchairs, ventilator machines, on some form of disability, because a lot of times it's them cribs that been killing people. It's them cribs. Remember the whole science of the project, what they told us about the project is an experimental ground, not only for crime, also for living conditions. These are some of the games they played with our people, and they still playing them to this day. They are just now starting to remodel these places. Why? Because now they want to turn the projects into condominiums. Now you see why they remodeling them and they doing the remix now? After so many people have got exterminated through generations. Because they felt like being that our people need them to sustain, they had a trick for our people. Man, they've been playing so many games that now it's, guess what? As you see, they telling us, and they don't got to hide nothing no more. Because we don't have no power, for one, and for two, it's nobody going to speak up for us. So they telling us they already knew this. In 2018, research by Robert J. Sampson and Alex S. Winter linked an increase in lead in water and a higher likelihood of criminal behavior. So here's your proof. Lead, water, lead paint produces criminal behavior. It scrambles the brain. This is why some people don't have logic like we do. They don't see the logic as we do. Now you see where the whole saying of drinking Kool-Aid come from? Because we all was raised off Kool-Aid. And we all, I'm pretty sure all of us have consumed lead water, tainted water, and Kool-Aid. Let's stop playing. And many of our people, especially back in the day, was raised on Kool-Aid and faucet water. And many of them went to jail. Most of them in jail right now. This is why certain people don't have the same logic. Some of our people are sick. Now you see why they call us they put that mental health on us. Some of our people are sick because they didn't know when they was drinking Kool-Aid and drinking water when they was young, they was going to be old and become a rapist or a killer because they wasn't going to have common sense and had their scruples in order to know right from wrong because their brain is lead infested, which affects their nerves, their basic patterns of thinking and what? Comprehension. This is why they pay scientists millions of dollars every year to perfect these different forms of warfare. They already knew this stuff was going to happen. That's why I already broke down to y'all. After the Martin Luther King era, that's when Lyndon B. Johnson came in. That's when they first started introducing welfare to our people. Should I say, that's when our people first started getting on welfare. I already told you. The white people was on welfare first. Y'all already know, especially my people from New York. You already know the history when they told you how all those projects were consumed by white people first. That's damn near all over America. Because back in the day, our people really had money. We were straight. We didn't need projects. Somebody in your family owned a house. You stayed there. I'm telling you, we had pride. We didn't deal with these free hand. They call it free handouts now, but that's what they called it back then. Our people did not want. Our people rather struggle and suffer before they took free handouts. And the main people getting the handouts were the white people. And this was how they was helping white people get in position with these so-called projects and low income. Then when the white people got on their feet, they started buying houses. And then after, when Martin Luther King was preaching civil rights and all of us come together, part of us coming together was actually us getting aid and being able to get the same benefits that the white people get. So long story short, benefits EBT was made for white people. But then when equal rights, now we have become equal and been able to get them. But the thing is, before the 70s kicked in, a lot of our people started getting on welfare. This is where you hear how our people have been on welfare for generations. My mom's told me about the history and how it went down in New York at the time when they started giving out them vouchers and letting people. This is when people first started moving to Staten Island. As you see the projects, state, all of that started back in the early 70s. Parts of Brownsville, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, all over. The project thing took place like before the 70s really kicked in, early 70s. Around that time, a lot of our people was getting city jobs and city housing. And we know down the line, these jobs and housing will be passed on. But this is when our people started getting involved in these particular programs called assistance from the government. You feel me? And the thing is, remember, these systems were really put in place to help people get on their feet. But these traditions have been passed down through our people for generations. Let me also say this and make it clear. Just because you're on welfare, you're on the system, don't make you poor. A lot of our people are on welfare, have been raised on welfare and things of that nature, but they understood how to pimp the system, how to make the system work for them. Same way the white people did. When they was on it, they knew how to make it work for them. That's how they was able to evolve. And a lot of them we see now, homeowners, or they got these good jobs, but a lot of they elders were living in projects too. Or you got people that know their history know what I'm talking about. So my point is, now that it's 2022, we stuck in these situations and can't get out, especially in Mississippi, because they just told you how they've been taking the welfare money. They stole 70 million. Therefore, that's money that was supposed to go to certain programs, such as education, you know, rent relief, whatever. They've been playing with the money. And this is how they've been able to keep our people off track. But remember, they play the same game everywhere, just not to this extreme, and they just do it a little different. But the number one thing you got to remember, that paint on them walls was lead paint. Y'all know about asbestos? Now you understand why a lot of our people born in the hood got asthma. I just told you about my family members for the projects. Both of them, they were twins. Both of them had asthma. They both died before their time, and they never left the hood. But all this by design, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Y'all know that. My people that know, you know that. I don't care where you go in America. Projects all got the same smell. It ain't because they're the project, it's because they use the same paint. That's why it smells the same like that. It's the paint. Get it? So all that shit was by design, y'all. But anyway, this man did a research and they got proof, and they have presented new evidence of a consistent link between childhood-led exposure and antisocial behavior in both childhood and latter adolescence, with an estimated magnitude of effects greater than any standard predictors in criminology they reported. So they saying that half the criminal behavior, a lot of it comes from living under lead conditions, as far as inhaling it and drinking it. In my opinion, this also has to do with a lot of things that's affecting our kids now with autism. They just take these same traits and they just give it different names. But either way, common sense, you just look at it as different things that are implemented where we live to mess with our children's brain. Just like we know that the number one people getting affected with bad water is the babies, because you can't make them the proper water. And we know baby formula is very important at developing the child's brain at an early age. That's why they're playing games, y'all. But like I said, they did the same thing to our ancestors. When they wanted to go to war with us, they would always cut off the water supply. They would throw dirt and they would damage the rivers. They would pollute the rivers on purpose. You can't grow your crops with polluted water. You can't bathe without, you understand? And therefore it breeds sickness and disease. This is also part of the pestilence that was written. But let's continue on, y'all. Salute to the chat. It's Monday, Money Day. We getting through it. I see y'all here. I'm glad to see all of y'all. Let's continue on, though. Check it out. Did I not already speak on this, family? Did I not tell you that a lot of those people coming in are criminals? That a lot of them are not good, honest people? Some of them are. I told you a lot of them not. Do y'all see what's going on? Venezuela empties prisons, sends violent criminals to U.S. border. Did I not break it down in the episode I did, Scarface Part 2? And I broke down how in Scarface they showed you how Fidel Castro was sending Cubans here, but they was really criminals. The same criminals that started the cocaine cowboy wars in Miami. The same ones that was bringing bricks and bricks upon bricks of cocaine to America, that most of our people are still locked up and dead to this day. But they're doing it again. You see how Mexicans is always put to be the blame of everything, when the whole time it's multiple countries just coming to America through Mexico. They going to Mexico to come here. Did I not break down? They told you that's how the fentanyl got in America. It gets here. It goes to Mexico first. Then it gets here. Same way, these immigrants and criminals, they just going to Mexico. Then they get here. But they coming from Venezuela, all over. Peru, everywhere. Africa. Because they know all we got to do is get to Mexico. If we get to Mexico, then we get in America. What you think they see? You got one half coming to take jobs. The other half is going to be here to do the dirty work, crime. And you got to remember, they all unified. Why? Like I said, meanwhile, like I said, we've been talking about this. Now let's look at it as a whole. What's up, Rondell? What's up? Now let's look at this as a whole. Come on, y'all. We got to look at this. You got to look at this as an American, period. Look at how we here going through all this stuff. Look how we going through all of this stuff, but we not getting no signs of no help or nothing getting better. Meanwhile, we see everything going on with all these other countries that don't apply to us. How is Ukraine getting help, but Mississippi it got bad water? I'm pretty sure even though they're having a conflict right now in Ukraine, I bet you they still got better water than Mississippi right now. And yes, they go through the Ukraine. This ain't got nothing to do with Ukraine. This has nothing to do with no immigrants. The point of the matter is what I want people to see is how they are blatantly, outright doing things, not only to piss you off, but to show you how they feel about you. So they are slapping everybody in the face. Because every day, all you got to know is whatever we doing, every day, it's a whole nother agenda going down. Meaning they come in the country and they getting off boats, ships, whatever. They going to massive cities. And what you think, they just going to be standing around? These are going to be your future drug dealers, your future gun runners. They're going to be doing the dirty work. So that's why I told you, when I told you crime was over, see, when it comes to melanated people, the war's on crime, on you. You the terrorist. But when it comes to other people doing crime, they get a pass. Y'all see how the game, I told y'all this, it's a very, very complex game they playing. Only those who are fast and smart on their feet gonna catch it. And we in the middle of the whole shit. Because all of this leads to what I already been telling people. And salute to the people that sent this. As you see in New York City, the inmate dies after jumping from a boat. People don't know this is a jail. This is part of the jail in New York City. But it's not about me talking about the jail. I just wanted to show people the reality of what I be talking about when I told you when you go to jail and get locked up, you are literally back on a slave ship. Once you are in bondage, you are a slave. And you become state property. Just like a slave was considered property, what you think state property is. Same thing. Just playing with names. A slave is property. You go to jail, you're state property. You're still property, you're still in bondage. You got to what? Work for free. Or the money you work for is really working for free anyway. Free labor. Like slavery, right? When you was a slave, your ancestors, the master had a budget for the slaves. The budget was the what? House the slaves, take care of them, feed them, make sure they was at good work, good work standards. It was a budget. When you go to prison, it's a what? It's a budget to take care of you. They got to pay officers. In slavery, they had to pay overseers. When you get locked up, you lose all your rights as a human being. When they told you about your rights, what they didn't tell you is those are your rights to be a human. Once you become their property, in reality, you're no longer a human. And that's why they treat you like you're not a human. Because a lot of people didn't understand the 13th Amendment, where it breaks down certain things, put you back in slavery. But this was the replica of it. This is the replica of the prison that is literally a boat, slave ship. Let's continue on. Salute to the people for sending me this. My people sent me this. Salute. This is something I already knew too. I always assumed this years ago. I said it. I told y'all this. It's another thing I got to understand. Whenever your people want to come together and have a truce, I peep this shit. Why you think the gang war is always going to exist? Why you think crime is always going to exist? For one, crime pays. Crime pays law enforcement. Crime generates tax money. Crime is why judges remain rich, lawyers remain rich, police get raises, buy houses, go to credit unions, pay off mortgages. It's because of criminal activity. So the more people do crime, the more everybody else get rich, and you are a pawn. So I understood that no matter what happens in our neighborhoods, they will never let it be peaceful, no matter what. And I also learned about years ago how police officers would dress up in masks, they would dress up in gangbang attire and keep wars going, do drive-bys. When these two neighborhoods trying to form a truce and squash the beef, it is alleged that police officers will go out and commit killings so the gangs will keep fighting and warring. Well, here we have proof that these cops undercover did not know they was on camera. And they shot this man that you see with the white hoodie. They blasted his ass away in a drive-by. You see him standing right here, right? You see right here his ass on the ground because they shot his ass. And his homeboy was with him, ran. And they got caught. And this is something I already knew, because I studied the game, that they always going to make crime go on. So, and this also is part of the plot where we never could come together, because it don't matter about gangs. If these gangs squash it today and say, you know what, we're going to be cool, we're going to just, you stay in your neighborhood, I stay in mine, boom, boom, boom. They're going to still have some type of incident happen where somebody unknown is going to kill somebody and it's going to get blamed on a rival gang, which keeps the war, the beef going. That's why you'll see some of these beefs and wars been going on for years, because certain people don't never want the beef to stop. And another thing is, you got to remember, some of these corrupt officers are racist. And the best job you can have as a white racist is an officer, a job as an officer. And if you think some of these officers in America that are corrupt, if you think they don't just blast on people sometime whenever they feel like it, the racist ones, you're sadly mistaken. Because like I said, after a while, they get tired of shooting targets and paper. But these police officers, they gunned that boy down. See that? See, he was standing, boom, got knocked off his feet, he got blasted. But they didn't know the camera caught them. And they wasn't playing clothes. So we're going to see how this play out with that. But it's a lot of funny things going on in America right now. New York City woman found dismembered in suitcases in her apartment. This is the agenda that's going on right now. If you want to know what else going on, a good TV show that I watched that just came back on is the new Law and Order Conspiracy. I told y'all this last year when I first started. They put everything in that TV show. In that TV show, Law and Order, not only are the special victims, but the conspiracy is the one you got to watch. That's the one they dealing with sex trafficking. And they showed yesterday, the episode I watched, of how you got people that's not from here, got sex trafficking rings in New York City right now, got people hostage, and when them people try to escape, they kill them. And they also got women running some of these houses. But they also show something that they did this recently. Remember, I've been hearing about how all the people got boots on their cars. A lot of cars been getting snatched up. Y'all know everybody that bought bogus cars with PPP money. But this is what they've been doing the past weeks. They've been taking people's cars. But this is what they do now. The new technology they got now is they scan your car while you asleep. While you in the house sleep, they scan your car outside. Check your plates, check your registration. They showed it, and they also showed it in an episode of Law and Order where they was at a location and they were scanning the plates to see who was on probation. And when they scanned the plates of the car, they was like, okay, there's nobody on probation that's in here or parole. They showed another event where a woman was being kidnapped. She was in a hostage situation, and the police was able to call her phone and make sure she was straight while she was being kidnapped. Meaning She had a phone on her while she was being a hostage, and they were able to call her phone, not knowing the woman or nothing. They was able to directly call her phone. And they showing you the technology that they already got. They just showing you in Law and Order and TV because they know a lot of people don't watch Law and Order no more. They already got all the technology now. They can run your car while you sleep. They can call you on your phone and you ain't even giving your goddamn number. So this is why a lot of these organizations, before they get caught, they're actually killing people. This might be part of how this woman ended up in the suitcase. Because people that's into sex trafficking, one thing they understand, they know if they get caught, they're going to get life in jail. So a lot of them rather kill their victims than do 25 years in jail. This is why I keep telling people you got to be careful and be on point with your kids, because if they get snatched up, they're never coming back. Because once you get snatched up in sex trafficking, you're not allowed to go back home. For one, you know too much. And for two, you can get somebody life in jail. So once somebody gets caught up in sex trafficking, 9 times out of 10, they're never going to be seen again. They also showed on Law and Order how they was ready to kill this particular snitch who was snitching on the organization. They already had a hole dug out for him in a warehouse with a concrete machine. And after they put his ass in that hole, they was going to put fresh concrete over his ass. And they were showing you how this stuff was already going on right now. So therefore, I'm trying to tell you, if somebody get caught missing now, they won't be found. Allegedly, melanated kids get labeled as runaways. I told you that white kids are missing. When you're a runaway, they ain't going to look for you. And you already know about missing. Once a person is missing for a certain amount of time, that means they never coming back. Y'all let me know how many times you count on one hand when you seen a missing person return. So this is part of what I was talking about with them promoting all that promiscuity and girls being fast in the ass. All of that is to set the dinner plate for the sex trafficking. That's all that is. It's beyond young girls just being fast now. It's beyond that. It's beyond them being fast, getting pregnant. No, it's about making them be super fast so that they can become targets for these sex traffic organizations. Because these people are sick. If they can snatch up a 15-year-old, 16, 17, if they can snatch up a teenager, they might can get 20 years of work out of them. And have that person being a sex slave for 20 years in a location that you know nothing about. But this is the reality. I told y'all what's really going on. It's the migrants, sex and human trafficking, and fentanyl. And as we see now, also what? Dirty water. These are the different warfares. These are the different things that's going on right here in America. And the unseen hand, maybe they the ones pulling the strings. So let's continue on, family. I see y'all here. What's up? Y'all still cooking. Shout out to the people in the bushes. It's Monday. I know we dragging a little bit, but it ain't too much to talk about. So I'm just giving a few updates. Now, y'all seen this man become lunch meat all over the media. It's a lot of funny things going on within this whole thing. I don't know all the details. I know a few. But as you see, Nia Long's husband allegedly became obsessed with a married white side piece after she broke it off. So for one, he's being accused of dealing with a white staff member. Once again, you see the race game. Maybe that's why he's the number one person getting thrown under the bus, and the woman is being kept behind the scenes. But they are saying that this man was stalking the woman out. Mind you, I already said it. He's a damn fool for cheating on Nia Long anyway. He's a fool and a clown for that. For two, he's messing with a woman within his staff. That's another no-no, which makes him a clown and a fool. As a person with a responsible job of being a leader of young men, he didn't set a good example. Now, I have to clarify, they did say it's a fact that even though him and Nia Long been together for over 10 years and they have a child, they are not legally married. And it also said, it was said that they only see each other a couple of times out of year. So they weren't together a lot. But as you see, they saying the drama's getting worse according to the media takeout. And they learned that according to a new report that Nia's husband became obsessed with his alleged side piece, and that is what led to his undoing. So allegedly they saying that, you know, Udoka and the white staffer had an affair, was dealing with each other, consensual sex, and it was told that the woman cut him off and he couldn't take it. And allegedly he was stalking her and saying inappropriate things. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. But a lot of people understand there's some weird things within the whole thing, and it's not over yet. But after the staffer who media takeout learned is a white married woman, she's married, broke off the affair with Emmy, reportedly made unwanted comments. They're saying that Emmy made unwanted comments toward her, leading the team to launch a set of internal interviews. The article suggests that Nia's husband, mind you, they're not even married. He may have become obsessed. Because see, it makes him look worse when you say he was a married man. But actually, the woman was married. The white woman is the one that's married. Now, you know, we're not making no excuses for Emmy Udoka, but this was kind of like a Hollywood relationship. Why? Because they wasn't even, they said they only seen each other a couple of weeks out of year. So we know that ain't no room for no sex life. We know human beings get lonely. And it don't make it right, but they just painting a story like they was a happy married couple and he was just cheating on her. No, it was certain things and key events that got them to this level. But he still was a fool for playing himself, because he could have got with any other woman if he wanted to get a side piece, not a goddamn staffer. So this is beyond him cheating. This is a sign of disloyalty. Because see, that's how I look at cheating. A man's going to do what a man going to do. A woman going to do what a woman going to do. Why? Because they both grown and they own their own private parts. But the real part of cheating comes with the disloyalty. It has to do with when you disrespect the other person and you make them look like a fool and a clown. Because you with somebody that y'all have an intimate understanding, intimate outlook on things. Y'all call yourself building together and being a team, but then one of the members of the team go outside and start dealing with other people, putting the business out there, pillow talking, being disgruntled, talking about your financial situations, things of that nature. It just creates a sense of disloyalty. But I understand every situation is different. But that's the more thing of this. This whole thing is about imagery and image warfare. Where now this particular man, he looks like a disloyal fool that thinks with his penis, and he wasn't grateful enough to have Nia Long. Let's be clear: it's a lot of women that will want Nia Long right now, because that's how life works. What one person don't want, somebody else will love. But a lot of this stuff is funny, meaning they making this whole situation more than what it is, and they leaving out details. And some people feel like they just want to get him out of power anyway, because as a melanated coach, he got a lot of clout for bringing them Celtics back to the NBA championship. We neither here nor there. Now we're about to get into another part of the show. Something I want to show y'all that we already been talking about. Salute to the chat. I see y'all here. What y'all doing up so early, man? Y'all been up early this morning. Because we about that business. That's why. Also, salute to all the people that's had to get up and get them kids ready. You know what I'm saying? Had to get the house in order and got to clean up after they leave. Salute to everybody that's doing what they got to do, period. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to get into something else. We got to go a little bit back into time. What's up, Miss Deja? We got to go back a little bit in the history, y'all, because it's some things we miss. And the things we miss is playing out right now. Well, I didn't miss it, but I know a lot of y'all did. And it ain't just the Simpsons that was putting you on the stuff. We're going to take a trip and go back into the Boondocks. And I'm about to start watching the Boondocks again, all the series. Let's go into the Boondocks, y'all. And I'm going to show y'all how they was already putting predictive programming in the Boondocks. And Boondocks became it was at its peak of pushing a lot of different agendas in the Obama era. But this particular episode on the Boondocks, the one where I speak about homies over hoes with Gangstalicious, then they did an episode with a suspect man called Thugnificent. And it was predictive programming to a higher level past the Simpsons. And for those who don't know about the Boondocks had nothing but jewels in that. They was the first ones to clown R. Kelly with the R. Kelly case. It's so many jewels. It teaches of the sellout nigga. It teaches so many different things. A lot of y'all already know about the Boondocks. I'm about to go back into the Boondocks because they did come back for a season or two. Anyway, I want to show y'all the predictive programming. As you see, Riley was into rap. He was into the rap game. He started getting caught up watching not only Thugnificent, that's another episode, but Gangstalicious, right? This Gangstalicious right here. And Gangstalicious represented the down low, aka you know what, thug. All right, that's what Gangstalicious represented in the cartoon episode. And he was a rapper. And little Riley was, he called himself not rocking with Gangstalicious. He wasn't feeling them. But what happened is he sat down and started watching a video. And it was the video that turned Riley out. And the video was Homies Over Hoes. This was the video. And they was actually joking on that group D4L. Now we can see D4L really was a play on words, which was really represented down low. And that whole Laffy Taffy, we already knew back in the day that whole song was suspect. We already knew that. That was also, I told y'all, when they did the test run in the early 2000s, where they had men wearing pink. I'm not just talking about wearing pink. I'm talking about pink shirts, pink Jordans, when dudes started going to Foot Locker buying female sneakers on purpose. That was all the test run to get you to wear pink. I'm going to be real. In my opinion, Cameron got paid a lot of money from the community to get people to wear pink too. That's just my opinion. But the video, as you see, showed them chest bumping. And people don't know what chest bumping represent. But Riley was watching the video as a kid, and he got turned out. As you see, this is how he started dressing. He started acting funny after that. See that? Young Thug. Now you see why Young Thug was the first to show that behavior? But it was already on the cartoon because it was already a whole agenda that they had to put out there. So they put it in a black cartoon and they put it in black music to push it to you. But they was already telling you, because remember I told you, they always tell you what they're going to do before they do it. They always show you the magic trick before they pull it off. But people thought it was just a joke. Now we're looking at it, and we're looking at it 10 years later. An innocent cartoon played out in real life. This is when they was telling us that their whole concept of homies over hoes. For the ones that say I be pandering, I understand as a man, you're supposed to show love to women. And you're supposed to show just as much love to women as you show to your homeboys. But a lot of us been tricked, definitely in this past decade, in this whole new world. And even a lot of us as a kids, when you was taught these slogans that tricks ain't but hoes and tricks, bitches ain't shit, homies over hoes, I love my bro. This is why to this day, a lot of y'all have heard men tell other men they love them more than you heard men tell their own woman they love them. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. There's been a process the past couple of years where men say, I love you, bro. I love you, bro. But little did you know, those were words playing games. There's nothing wrong with loving your brother. I'm just saying. people say I love you, bro, faster than they tell a woman they love them. Or if it comes to a woman, it's a lot of hate, a lot of other stuff, but it's a certain extra love for homies. And this is all part of the program. Gangstalicious, as you see here, Kid Cudi, is he not looking similar to Gangstalicious? I told you when men show their waist, that's a man showing his cleavage, which is inviting a man to his backside. Another thing I'm going to say is that I'm not going to be covering these things as much no more. There's no need for me to keep covering these things. They're already out the bag. They're already out here. So with a lot of this stuff, I'm just repeating the same thing. And I don't want to keep giving these type of people clout anyway, meaning this is nothing to be talking about. It's already known. So as these stories keep coming out, I don't got time to keep up with all of them. I'm just showing you they've been pushing agenda. It's at the fullest level now. They already have mastered it, and it has worked, and it's a done deal. So when you hear all these allegations, all these men being suspect, all you got to understand is that they all fell victim of mind control, and a lot of them was already dealing with that behavior. And a lot of them made it outright. This is why men be on certain platforms talking for hours. Like they ain't got no woman in the house. Because any man with a woman in the house know that their woman is not going to approve of them talking to other men for hours. Every day. This Gangstalicious right here. So you got Thugnificent and you got Gangstalicious. This Thugnificent, meaning they did more than one episode on the event. As we see now, did we not see a lot of men in recent time put ponytail, put these pom-poms in their hair? Do we not know men that's been accused of being suspect putting pom-poms in their hair? What's up, Annette? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is already written in the cartoon. They made a cartoon that they knew a lot of y'all wasn't going to watch. Then for those that did watch it, it was predictive programming, meaning it was already a prediction made that these things were going to happen. It just took time for the program to work, and it's working. Now, see how a lot of y'all thought y'all try to play the age game. The older generation, they don't know nothing. No. It's just that some of us know better. We're not going for that. A lot of y'all got tricked. We know the size of ponytails and certain twists and certain things a man not supposed to put in his hair. Ain't nothing wrong with a man getting his hair braided. Men have been getting cornrows and braids for forever. But you had men that get their hair cornrow and leave them joints in for like a month, 3 weeks. They wasn't going to the beautician getting it braided every week. They wasn't going to salons and getting all this extra fancy treatment to their hair. Dudes knew a girl that can braid it. They braided up the afro. That was that. My point is, dudes started going to the beauty shop more than women, getting retwists, getting color, more than women. You got dudes won't even let their hair get messed up, let it grow out a little bit. No, they just keeping it, I'm just showing you they already was predicting all of this. And a lot of y'all took it as fashion. Because I told you, the people that control fashion control the industry. And they knew whatever they want you to get, all they got to do is get it through rappers, and you're going to do it. That's why the rappers had stylists. The stylists work for these communities to get you to dress like that. See? But they pushed the so-called gay agenda in rap through a form called fashion. So when you see A$AP Rocky with the Louis, whatever, Gucci, man purse, the key word is called a purse. Man purse. Because it was illustrated through fashion. As long as it got Louis or Gucci on it, it's fashion, right? So you can wear it, it's okay. And that's how they tricked a lot of celebrities to wear it. A lot of celebrities signed up for it. This is when they first started pushing the agenda. That's why damn near every rapper you seen with a dress, painted nails, some type of suspect hairstyle, because they was all part of the agenda. And this is the agenda that turned out your kids to this day. But they showed you in the cartoon that Lil Riley got turned out by watching rap videos and homies over hoes. I shared it on my timeline. All you got to do is watch the video, and you'll see in the video They was mushing women in the face. It was showing how all the niggas want to hang together and chill in the VIP. They ain't want no woman around. And it was basically, this also goes to the narrative of don't trust no woman. Woman ain't nothing. Women ain't smack. They nothing. Don't trust them, none of that. They evil, wicked, but love your brothers, love your homies. Like men ain't wicked and evil. See that? Gangstalicious, thugnificent. And this is Huey, what Riley brother said. Homies over hoes sound like some gay-ish to me. Because Huey represented the smart brother. He would always peep game in the cartoon. Riley would be the lost brother, getting caught up in everything. And Huey would be the brother that was smart. Mind you, they were both being taken care of by their grandfather. But Boondocks is an excellent cartoon that I suggest people get back into it and let your kids watch it. And it's funny. And then you understand why they took it off the air, because it had a lot of truth in it. But my point is, this is past news. I just wanted to bring out up to date to show you that all this stuff has already been written already. So now you just seeing the end result. There's nothing else to talk about when it comes to this whole behavior. I don't got to give it no more light. I don't got to even speak on it no more because it's already out the bag. It's already working. But I wanted to show y'all this is really why Young Thug became a star, because he was the thug that had to usher this in. It was known that Young Thug allegedly was a so-called real killer, a real shooter. He was allegedly a real individual that put in a lot of work in the street, but they needed somebody to pass this agenda. And maybe Birdman knew that. So when Birdman signed him, he made sure Young Thug did what he was supposed to do. While I put it on Birdman, Birdman also was playing that game with him and Lil Wayne did that kiss. They know why they was doing that kiss. Somebody had to get paid to push these agendas. Somebody had to do it, y'all, because they wanted these agendas pushed in hip-hop music. Before that, hip-hop music was considered to be what? Homophobic. But now, hip-hop music is not homophobic due to people like Young Thug. And that's why he got used as a pawn. That's why his ass in jail right now, and he ain't never coming home, because he already did the work they needed him to do. Push the agenda. When you push their agendas, when they finish with you, they're going to dissolve you. They're going to get rid of you because they don't need you no more. We only needed you to do one thing. We need you to get these boys to wear dresses. We need you to get these boys to wear a lot of suspect clothes. We need you to get these boys to, hey, it's okay to be tough, but you still can be both, all right? You could be a street man. They needed somebody to push it. And they pushed it for 10 years. This been going on since 2012, y'all. You see how fast time flies? So now, when I told y'all that this is normal to the new generation, this is what I was telling you. Riley represented the new generation 10 years ago. So all the kids that was Riley age 10 years ago, young boys, teenagers, early adults, all of them that was born, or should I say was young 10 years ago, now it's normal because they was raised in this lifestyle. This is why you see all of this suspect allegations now. This is why you see all this suspect behavior, because to them it's normal. And to a lot of us, it's not normal. And it don't mean we hate nobody. We just wasn't raised like that. That's the only difference. So this is why it's no more need to keep arguing, debating, and worried about certain things you can say and can't say. I'm going to kill it all by not speaking on it at all. That's how I'm going to kill it. Me personally. Because me personally, I'm tired of all these stories coming out. I'm tired of all this because I'm looking at it like now that half the world is suspect and the other half hate women anyway. So it is what it is. All right? But I just wanted to show y'all predictive programming and what is not just the Simpsons that was telling us a lot of stuff. The Boondocks, one of the best cartoons. I think they got like 3 seasons. And I'm going to get back into it probably today. So now you see all of subliminal mental attacks. When I told you how the number one way you've been being attacked, we've been being attacked, is through our household. And everything we see in a form of images. Because in your face, you won't accept it. But if you keep watching it and keep seeing these pictures long enough, after a while, these pictures become normal. Now you see how a lot of kids been turned out through images. and following rappers. That's why I told you. If you meet somebody, if you see somebody talking about they're a rapper, you might as well just get away from them. Because rappers do anything now. The word rapper means something else. Let me clarify that. Rapper means something else. Hip hop is not rap. It's many different names that have been flipped, and you have to decipher them. The same exact trick they did with the Bible. How they took the Bible, and people got different views and opinions on the Bible. They did the same thing with hip hop and rap music. Now it's different views and opinions, perspectives, because what they did was perverted. They perverted hip hop, they perverted the Bible, they perverted everything and made it confusing, because Babylon means confusion. And long as you're in Babylon, everything is going to be confusing. And it's not supposed to make sense. Only the people that can make sense of everything is the people who possess a certain amount of wisdom. And the elite know this. But the average person, they never going to get it. And that's why I told you we're dealing with mental warfare. And that's just my opinion. Salute to the chat. That's today's episode. That's it. So for those that didn't catch the beginning, you already know. You got to go to that replay. But our people are suffering. Americans are suffering. Like I said, it looks like something going on in Ukraine, don't it? It looks like something in Africa. I could have sworn Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z was all in Africa. So-called helping the Africans get clean water. Do y'all remember that? So why in Mississippi ain't no clean water? Let's stop playing. And all the time they've been without water, they would have been met. They could have rebuilt a whole new plant. So far, all this time they could have been rebuilt a new plant. But like I said, you got to know about the Mississippians, and then you'll understand why they're doing this stuff. Some of the bloodlines of the people never left, like I told y'all, man. These are of the ancestors that used to live down there. This is why they got it hard. What would you do if you woke up one day and your water was like that? Salute to the chat. Who up in here? I want to see some of y'all opinions on this. Episode 273. Money Day. Money for war, but can't feed the poor. That's right. That's right. Salute liberty. Salute. That's why subliminal image advertising was made illegal in 1965, because it works. That's right. Man, you can do imagery, you can brainwash a person to do almost anything. Why you think half the people is doing stuff and they don't even know why they're doing it? Because it's been programmed in their subconscious. This is why people follow. Like, they already got most people prepped already to get the new iPhone 14. I know people right now debating on getting that phone, making a big hoo-ha about a new phone coming out. Why? Because they've been programmed. iPhone, no matter what the model was, never did nothing for your life, period. Nothing. But they got people focused on iPhones, because that's how they play the game. Have you spending your money on stuff and you don't even know why you're just doing it, because it's the hottest thing to do. How do you feel about people blaming the local government and not saying anything about Biden and federal government not helping? See? Yeah, this has to do with Biden. This has to do with all of them. Because, you know, we know it's levels. We know all of them supposed to be held accountable, especially the president, because we already know if this was Trump, we know Trump would have been getting blamed for this. We already know that. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing, y'all. But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. People don't have the same energy for everybody. And that's another reason why people stay failing, because they always pick and choose who they want to get mad at. They always pick and choose when they want to say something. And when you don't got the Democratic politicians, aka the black politicians, saying nothing, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Because remember, it's the black local politicians that's supposed to be going hard at Biden. And then Biden's supposed to get his coattail pulled by the politicians that are locally installed. Remember? The mayors, the governors, the council members. They supposed to be the ones getting that Biden neck. Where they at? Where the black politicians at, y'all? Let's ask the question. Where are the black politicians at? All over America, where they at? But guess what? This should be the number one sign that don't vote on race no more. You want to vote, do your homework. We know a lot of them. We know they full of you know what, but some of them do good. Some of them do got good hearts, and they gotta play the politic game because you gotta make everybody happy when you're a politician. That's the bad part. But all of them are not as low as others. So you gotta understand now. You gotta make. That's why it's elections coming up right now. That's another reason why all this stuff going on. Some of your local officials are going up for election right now. They're the ones supposed to be held accountable. They are the middleman between your community and the president. It's a chain of command. But where are all the black politicians at, y'all? They the ones supposed to get blamed, really. Because they the ones always at your neck, always telling you to vote. They the ones that was what? Knocking on your door, telling you to get registered. Where they at now? See that? But we do know the mayor of New York sat down with Joe Biden, and he got money to fight crime. That's about it. That's right. Where's the activists? Why Black Lives Matter not down there, y'all? By the thousands. Oh, because nobody ain't get killed by a gun, police? Well, we know for a fact, common sense will tell you, allegedly, a lot of people are going to die in the future from this water. Let's say a lot of people are going to die before their time just for messing with this water. Because remember, it might have been tainted at a high level before it even got to being black. And as far as we know, we not there. We don't know something strategically being poured at the water plant. We don't know that. We know the water plants are off limits. So where's Black Lives Matter at? Where's Antifa? Where is anybody with a voice? Oh, because they train to only speak if somebody get a gun, get killed. Told y'all it's different warfare, man. That's why I'm getting fed up. That's what I'm trying to teach my people is different warfare. You can't just get mad because somebody got killed by a damn white cop. It's people got programs in place does not just kill one, to slaughter generations and future generations. Because it's about the future. That's why it's people like this little boy that's going to be more affected by this. This is also to traumatize his future. And to make him feel like he ain't nothing. And he ain't never going to be nothing. Because he has to live under circumstances worse than damn near animal. Because you got to use common sense. It's people that got pets that got more pure water than we see what's going on in Mississippi. People that got cats and dogs got fresher water than that. Now do you understand why certain people's life don't really mean nothing to nobody, don't really care? And that's why I've been not liking Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is not funny. Kevin Hart is a pawn. Kevin Hart is a clown. Paid. That's why he had to take Cat Williams' spot. Cat Williams is opposite. Funny. Speak truth. Kevin Hart is what you call a tap dancer. A yes, a bossing ass nigga. And Brett Favre made sure this picture was taken so he won't look racist. Meanwhile, when he took this picture, he already knew he was robbing the black community and the poor community. When he's a $100 million man scamming millions of welfare money. And he's saying in the same city, Jackson, Mississippi, the same place of the tainted water is the same exact place where Brett Favre stole money. Do you think that's a coincidence? Brett Favre was the man. Brett Favre was Tom Brady at his day. You get it? For those who know, y'all know about Tom Brady, that used to be Brett Favre. I just put it in them terms for those who don't know sports. He's a Hall of Famer. You see him at the Hall of Fame? He said the Hall of Fame speech. Brett Favre is highly respected by a lot of people, and he know better than what he did. But in my opinion, he was paid to do what he did. He's the one going to take the bullet for all of the politicians that was playing the money game in Mississippi. That's my opinion. Showing you how the rich get rich and the poor get poor. And just to let you know, Mississippi is the nation's poorest state by design. I was just looking at the list the other day of all the states that got the most billionaires and millionaires. You got the richest states in America. In America, you got the poorest states. All of that's by design. So out of 50 states, all you got to know is that's the poorest state. And remember, I told you, in code words, in American games they play, poor means black. And black means poor. That's why wherever you see black people, you'll see poor people. Wherever you see poor people, you'll see black people. I'm not making this stuff up, y'all. I'm just showing you how they play games with the English language and how this country was built off keywords and built off certain programs. That's why when people get mad at this whole black word, a lot of y'all don't understand what that word black mean and what they used it for. And it's a reason why they implement it into our language and vocabulary, why we call each other black. And they got us further away from who a lot of us really are. Black means deaf. Well, if you see some deaf in the street, I bet you any amount of money, there's some black people around there somewhere. Well, if you see black people at, I bet you somewhere around it's some deaf. Just how they orchestrate it. You got to remember, you always hear about the powers that be. You hear about these so-called people in secret societies. They structured it all to be this way. Why you think it's the black and white checkerboard floor? They play games with whites. They play games with blacks. And they also showing you that everything is not gray. But we know some things are gray. But I'm telling you, man, they're the masters of the race game and wordplay. Now you understand that was part of the civil rights era for us to get to bow down to this black word and we all is one. When the whole time our bloodlines, our ancestors knew that they were all different. They knew that it came from different tribes, different backgrounds. And they got together for different things such as trade. But my point is a lot of your people knew who they were, knew where they belong. And when they came with all these agendas of African-American, black, go back to Africa, all these agendas that took place was to destroy and distort a lot of history, a lot of bloodlines, and just to destroy the whole pattern of thinking. All of those Back to Africa programs was fake, orchestrated, paid, and sent to you. Everybody in America that you was taught to worship was sent to you and paid to do the work they did. Why you think right now our communities are so divided and everybody's everything? Just everybody's everything. Everybody's everything. Period. When you see somebody, they're going to say they something other than who they really are. Let's be real. Now you see why we can't all come together? Because half of us don't even know who we are. We're everything. We're gangbangers. Dudes will go harder for their gang than their culture. People go harder for their religion than their culture. People go hard for everything other than who they really are because they don't have no culture. They don't know. And the powers that be, they bank on this. That's why when they give you dirty water, you don't know your culture, so nobody's going to say nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's how they play the game. That's how they win, y'all. So I had to break that down and put it out there. A lot of y'all already know this. Since my microwave broke, I discovered the ease of cooking with the frying pan with a lid, buttery. That's right. Hey, you got to learn different things out here. We don't even have our own culture. Exactly. That's why people be grown as hell, still give all their energy to fraternities, sororities. They think that's their culture. You see a man join a lodge, he got all the emblems all on his car, like that's his culture. No, that's their shit. They just let you in. You have no culture. It's been stolen from you. It has not just been stolen. It's actually right in front of you. You just deny your own culture. You blind to your own culture. It's right here, really. It's right in your face. But you everything. Your Black Lives Matter, you everything but who you are. That is the whole concept of divide and conquer. You are a conquered people, therefore we are divided. Sit. And they don't got to pick up another gun ever. They don't got to go around killing nobody. Fraternity is a whole bunch of gay Greek culture. Some people are going to be pissed, but it's history. It's history. How many bottles would it take to wash your ass? Exactly. And to wash it properly. Exactly. Come on, man. So you already know when you wake up, your whole day is thrown off because you already know you ain't got good water. That affects your brain. When you wake up, you already know it's that something simple as fresh water. I gotta go. I gotta heat up the stove. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You like, come on, man. You gotta get up earlier to get the kids ready for school. You gotta get them up a couple hours earlier. You get it? All that plays a part. If your kids get it, you gotta get washed up before they go to bed. They gotta, you understand? What else? Even basic stuff. You can't wash a car. Basic stuff like that. So say if a man had a little car wash business, that's messing up his money. How you gonna wash cars with dirty water? That water is gonna affect so many different things. There's been a lot of melanated people from America, Africa, and Caribbean denouncing their sororities and fraternities. It's like a whole YouTube sector now. Y'all seen it. They've been popping up on my timeline. I've been seeing it. Yup. A lot of people have been getting out of these fraternities and sororities and turning them down and exposing them. That's a fact. Yup. It's funny. That mean we probably got the same thing popping up on our timeline. That's a fact. Yup. A lot of people getting out. They're waking up. So and that's why they're going so hard too, because it is a lot of people waking up, y'all. There's nothing they could do because they knew it would be a time when people would wake up. They already knew this. This is why they had to turn up on all their agendas. And they had to make it harder for those that don't wake up. Those that don't wake up, they're going to make sure they stay asleep. The ones that's already woke, there's nothing they can do about that. But what they are doing is making it where the people that are woke won't have no influence on the people that are asleep. This is why you got so many conflicts going on right now. Hold up. Can these dry bones? I don't get it. They need to sit buckets of this water on the state lawn. Exactly. Yup. Different things. Like you said, this is the number one thing where the whole city should be protesting in numbers. But see, nobody been sent down there to gather them up. You see that? But if somebody gets shot in your town, Crump gonna be there. Crump, the ambulance chase, he gonna be here to protest. But nobody's gonna protest water. It's not, you see? This is really poison water. This is poison. Got our people living like it's the 1800s down there. That's right. Everybody is everything, y'all. Remember, because we've been taught to hate ourselves. So if you hate yourself, you want to be everything but who you are. Because they put in your brain that you was a slave. And you're a slave, you've been a slave, you ain't never going to be nothing. Your ancestor slave, you're poor, you're dirt, you're never going to be nothing. And that's all you believe. So you don't want to be that. You're going to be everything else. But you understand? But so much facts out here now, so much truth. And so many people waking up. Well, a lot of people, people don't go for that no more. That was my whole purpose of going hard to get people to wake up. It wasn't me disrespecting or down on my people. I'm just showing you the people that we were taught are our people is not really our real people. That's why I had to tell you everybody black is not it's not about no damn color. But you was trained to see color. So when you see a person of a color, you're not going to expect them being a wolf in sheep clothing or a person really coming to slay your ass because you caught up in their color. And the powers that be know this, so they pay people that look like you and send them to you on purpose to do foul things to you because you're not going to be on point because of color. That's why I had to bomb on color. That's why I had to bomb on certain things to let people know where I stand in the real reality of what's going on. And to show you, no matter how many, you don't think these people in Mississippi got guns in their house ready for war? You don't think they strapped? But how they can't win this war right here, can they? So my point is, again, what good is it if your house is loaded with guns when you ain't even got clean water? And I was just using this as an example to show you that the so-called people that don't like you, They got other ways of getting at you. And they don't even got to see your face because they control your water, your power, your food. They even control your fashion. They control your interest rates. They control your health situations. They control your kids. So how you going to win the war? If it is a war, how you going to win? That's my point. Why I was saying things how I've been saying them, why I've been speaking how I've been speaking. But for my people that know, you already know where I'm coming from. That's why I told you I'm not here to pacify. I'm not here to water nothing down. I'm not here to make you like me. It's not about that. Got to get out of that. Got to get out of who you like and who you don't like. Listen to what they're saying and make sense of what they're saying. Either it's true or it's not. That's it. Even if they just only speaking truth for that second, that time, you got to be able to hear truth when it's spoken. They might lie 1,000 times, but they tell truth that one time, you got to catch it. That's how this thing works. Till you can do that, you're always going to lose. They are the puppet masters, and they just want you to jump on the string. That's right. Choose your heretics. Lead and gasoline put a hurting on your collective conscience, but it's not going to prevent it from rising to a critical mass to an expansion rate. Hold up. Who else up in here? Good point, though. Shorty can't drink them bullets. That's right. Can't drink them bullets. Stockpile guns, weapons, dirty water. Can't do nothing with that. In my home state, they protested after a police officer put his knee in a black woman's back. But they can't protest the dirty water in the country. Exactly, y'all. Because that's how they want it to be. And sometimes these officers do this stuff on purpose to create these big spectacles. And that takes the attention off whatever else going on in that city. But bottom line, all we got to know is what? They all still get paid. You never hear them get sent home and getting their money cut off. They still be getting paid. Yeah, Brett Favre did that money scam, but what? He ain't facing criminal charges. And it's other people that was behind him. They're not in the news. So everybody still got paid. Yeah, everybody's going to get paid. That's why they say follow the money. A life means nothing. It's about that money. That's how they roll. Sad, but it's the truth. Love from Vegas. Shout out to Vegas. Shout out to 702. I just made it to the gym. I'm signing off. All right. Thanks, Mr. Tavian. Thanks for pulling up. Yeah, y'all. So we just looking at these things as a whole, and it's not being spoken of. So I just did my own little research, and I just had to see how everything is being spoken of, but this stuff is still going on. And all you got to know is Brett Favre stole the money, but he ain't the only one. He stole the money. Allegedly, he got the money. It was given to him. He ain't steal it. It was given to him. Let's stop playing, all right? See, even I got to watch the words I use. He was given the money. The city, the state gave him the money, which was supposed to go to the programs. It was going to build a volleyball arena at a university, which I already said that a lot of rich kids are going to be going there. A lot of white people kids are going to go to this arena. So what he did was to help out other families. And they used him to do it. And he signed up to do it. And he's not going to jail. Jackson, Mississippi stole all that money. But they just sat here. What did they just sit here and tell you, y'all? They just told you the nation's poorest state is Mississippi. Well, maybe Jacksonville is one of the poorest places in America because y'all stealing their money and keeping them poor. Maybe that. See, this is why I told you. They always tell you what it is. So they basically told you they the poorest state because we taking the money. Get it? All you got to do is watch them, man. They ain't hard to figure out at all. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody here. I'm still watching the chat. So y'all stay on point. And like I said, to you people of certain power, certain clout, you need to be saying something. But we know you ain't gonna say nothing because you scared anyway. So long as people straight and they good, they ain't nobody cares no more, man. Nobody cares, man. Michael Jackson been told y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares, y'all. But we're gonna get that through our head. So once you understand nobody cares, there's no need to keep getting mad. Once you understand nobody cares, guess what? Now it's time for you to stop caring. You only care about what you need to care about. I told you only care about what you need to care about. And you only do the best that you could do. That's right. They're not hard to figure out at all. They so arrogant and do a lot of things in your face because they know majority asleep. That's right. And if I ran out right now and started knocking on doors and screaming at the top of my lungs, people will look at me like I'm crazy anyway. Nobody gonna listen to me. That's how the world, that's just the world we living in, y'all. See, I accepted the world for what it is. That's why I told you I ain't mad. I'm not disgruntled. I'm not trying to change nobody's view on nothing. I understand this is exactly how it's supposed to be right now. The same way we here vibing, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. The people that's here vibing, we supposed to be here. Everybody else supposed to be where they at. That's why thousands of different channels, many different forms of content for you to pay attention to. But the people that are smart, they know what they're looking for. And you get what you ask for. So when you want answers and you want truth, you'll get answers and you'll get truth. But a lot of people, they don't even know what they're looking for. That's why they're doing anything. That's why they're losing. That's why people that know what time it is, all you're supposed to do is just stay out the way and don't affiliate yourself with these people. We live in a time now where you have to make the right decisions. The number one decision you have to make is the people you're dealing with. That is the first decision you have to make. The people you deal with, 1. 2, the things you entertain and give all your energy to. Those are the 2 top things. I don't got to get into health. Y'all already know that. Certain things you already know about finances. The 2 top things you have to watch. I don't care who you are, where you from, what you got going on. You have to watch who you are dealing with, who you have around you, who you trust, who you bring into your life, who you make plans with. Another thing you have to do is pay attention to the things you give all your energy to. If you use them 2 things as a blueprint, you on your right path. But if you make yourself accessible to everybody and everything all the time, 9 times out of 10 you out here lost and you about to go somewhere where you don't need to be at. That's all I'm saying. Because the reason why I say that is people in position that are plotting on you and preying on you right now. And they come in many different forms, many different faces, and their whole agenda is to throw your fucking life off track, to take what they can take from you and destroy you and leave you bad out here. That's their whole job. And the more the pressure get put on, the more these people are going to be trying to come into your life. So that's why I'm telling my people, just be on point. That's it. And like L. Blair said, nobody around me, I'm not telling or saying be antisocial. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, just don't mess with nobody. I'm not saying that. I got to repeat certain things because certain people just don't get it. That when something happens to you, don't blame nobody. When your ass be missing out here, don't blame no, don't you understand? Because you trusting everybody and you get violated, that's on you. That's all I'm saying. So we know we get fair warning in life. You get fair warning, after that, it's on you. We're not dealing with no more surprises. We in Revelation, everything is revealed. Therefore, if you dumb, that's by choice. Episode 273, that's it. And I'm still reading the chat. And other than that, I'm about to get out of here. Albert's Pike letter to Mazzini and highly relevant to this time. Exactly. Because those are the ones that were predicting all this to happen. They wrote the blueprint. All of that ties into eugenics. When you see the dirty tub, that applies to eugenics. We talk about welfare, that's eugenics. That's all these programs they installed in the 1900s have now came into fruition. That's why when we see the back of the dollar bill, when the pyramid was not completed, it also was a sign for the powers that be to know that it was a lot of work that still had to be done. That's why I told you these people are more patient than you ever could fathom. They are so patient, they will wait generations and decades to fulfill one agenda. That's it. Other than that, y'all, thanks for pulling up. I think we touched on today enough. We got through it. You feel me? We spoke on what needed to be talked about. And we're going to stay focused on this because we don't know if a lot of this bad water might turn into mass grave burials. We don't know how many people already been sick and died. We don't know how many people might get sick and die in the future. We have no clue. But we do know right now in America, people are not having water. We've seen how they are putting up camps. And we also know it's about to get into the cold winter. Therefore, a lot of things are going to take place that we're not even going to know about. So we touched on these topics. Shout out to everybody that's here. Salute to the people catching the replay, all the new subs. When we pull up, we family. This is what we do. Episode 273 on Fun No Fame Live on a Monday. And I'm out. One, I'm a holler.